Yep, it's me again. They hate me, that's why they give a fuck about me at the same time as always. JD Miles. The MGTOWs they love to hate. Even the ones that claim everybody loves to hate them, loves to hate MGTOW at the same time as always, which is why they keep us relevant to this day. And I'm back again. Shout out to E-Man67 Red Pill for bringing this to our attention. And this should be talked about. After 51 years of marriage, this judge learns his children aren't his. And this happened to a judge of all people. But before I play this video, I need to address something here. It has come to my attention that you got some content creators making a big deal about the percentages, the numbers. Oh, those numbers are from a foreign country, this, that, and the third. I'm also noticing that they trying so hard to downplay paternity fraud, which doesn't sit right with me here. Allow me to say, no one gives a shit about numbers or the percentages. What really matters is the fact that this shit needs to stop. Paternity fraud should be a crime. Paternity fraud should be a crime, and DNA testing should be mandatory at birth, regardless to what the naysayers think. And this judge is going to give all of us an Amazon Prime example. We're going to hear what he has to say, then I'm going to come back.
I have been married for 51 years. Got 2 sons, 42 and 40. Damn deadbeats. I'm still supporting the little boogers. Needed to take a test to see if any of us had a kidney good enough for my brother. Found out something interesting. They ain't my kids. There's somebody else's. Of course, the only good thing is, I know it's not my fault that those 2 idiots got dumped into this world. Hell, I thought they took after their mother. Instead, they take after the plumber or the postman or the milkman, there were milkmen back when they came around. I mean, God only knows. It sure gets old. I do wish I knew who the real fathers were, and they ain't the same. She was bopping a couple of different guys. But if I could figure out who they were, I've been practicing law long enough that I pretty well figure I can sue their ass and get all my money back that I sunk into those 2 deadbeats. It just chaps my ass that she couldn't tell me. I'd probably forgiven her. Maybe not. You know how it is. Boys, y'all need to go get your own paternity test. You can't tell by looking who's the daddy, unless you're looking down at the genetic level. I've been in court thousands of times in paternity suits, and 4 out of 5 times, guy says he ain't the daddy, he's right. And the genetic test is the only way to prove it for sure. These women are hopping everything that looks fun. You thought you liked sex. You ain't nothing. Well, I guess that pretty well completes that story. I'll go home, start drafting up some divorce papers, see if I can't get free of that crazy bitch. I mean, I stayed with her for the sake of the children and the grandchildren, now the great-grandchildren. But they ain't no kin of mine. Fuck 'em. Tell her.
Wow. To be honest, I'm also saying, damn, please let this be a skit. But my gut instincts always been correct, saying that this isn't a skit. I'm detecting. I sense a lot. I sense a lot of emotion, betrayal, as well as deceit coming from this man's voice. Man, I wish someone has his contact information, because I would definitely like to hear his opinion. I definitely would like to hear his opinion on why should if he believes should paternity fraud be a crime and DNA test mandatory at birth. If someone if someone could get in touch with him, can they let that be known? I would like to hear his opinion on the matter. But damn, 51 years of marriage, and then found out the children ain't his. And what's worse, he's a paternity judge. No bullshit. This reminds me of that Tyler Perry movie. And I know, y'all don't have to tell me. I'm not a big fan of Tyler Perry myself, but sometimes sometimes you gotta look at the message more than the messenger. But yeah, this shit reminds me of that Tyler Perry movie, The Wedding Counselor. And what did and what did she said at the end? I've been trying to save other people's marriages. I was trying to counsel other people's marriages, but I couldn't save my own. She was trying to save other people's marriages. However, she herself wind up wind up cheating on her husband with another dude, and what was unknown to her was that the dude that she was cheating on her husband with had AIDS, either HIV or AIDS, either one. And when she ended up finding out about that shit, and when she ended up finding out about that shit, she already knew that her marriage was over. And I see it no different in this situation. You have a judge that did that did practice paternity lawsuits, and then come to find out his children are not his. And he found that out by the fact that his brother needed a kidney transplant, and usually if a family member needs a transplant, whether it's a kidney, liver, what may have you, their best bet is to look. Their best bet is through other family members before they branch out to other people. Come to find out, that's how he come to find out in the end, that's how he found out that the children that he raised was not his. Fellas, this is why this is why paternity testing should be mandatory at birth, and paternity fraud should be a crime. Tennessee has passed that law. Tennessee has passed that law. If, that's better. Let's see. Tennessee has passed the law to make paternity fraud a crime and DNA testing mandatory. The state of Michigan is also following suit. You while the rest is concerned about the numbers and the percentages of paternity fraud, the rest of us is looking at the impact that paternity fraud causes. Paternity fraud, and I'm being brutally honest here, this is the impact of paternity fraud, the worst impact possible. Screw 18 years, let's try 51 years. They find out that his kids ain't his. And what's worse, he found all this out while at the same time being a grandparent and a great grandparent to children that are also not part of his bloodline as well. That's even worse. And he's a paternity judge at that. God damn it, you can't make this shit up. In fact, there's no way possible to make this shit up. And on top of that, this is a judge too? Just imagine. If this happened to a paternity judge, then you can bet your ass this shit can happen to any man. This shit can happen to a celebrity just as much as it can happen to a 9-to-5 working man. And tell me paternity fraud and mandatory DNA testing is not important. Again, while they so concerned about numbers and percentages, as I stated before, we are concerned about the impact and the effects of paternity fraud. The shit needs to stop. Not people going around trying to make excuses for it. And we all know who's trying to fight so hard to keep paternity fraud alive. And what's even more surprising, and get this, fellas, even 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 women, the females, also stand in agreement to this issue. I guess not all is saying they're trying to fight against it. You got the vast majority of females also standing along to fight this shit right here. Salute to them. But Uncle JD, I thought you hate women. then that just comes to show then that just comes to show you just how much you know about me. But yeah, if it happened to this judge, it can happen to any man. And this is why we are pushing hard to make paternity fraud a crime and DNA testing mandatory at birth. Once they passed it, another state is trying to get it through, is trying to push it through the courts. All states must get down with this. Or this type of shit will continue on happening. And the only reason why it's happening is because these retarded fucks in the government is allowing it to happen, even to their own government officials. But they acting like but they sitting there acting like, oh, this shit doesn't matter at all. Yes, it does matter. This is men's livelihoods we're talking about here. And this is an issue that needs to be addressed. But nevertheless, if anybody have any way to contacting him, I'm more than welcome to hear. I'm more than welcome. I'll be more than welcome to accept, because I want to hear his opinion. I want to hear his opinion. Does he stand in agreement with making paternity fraud a crime and DNA testing mandatory at birth? Because I can't speak for him, but I would like to know his opinion on that matter. But nevertheless, I said what I had to say. I'm done, and I'm out this bitch. Later.